right, thanks very much, guys. The OPP, they're releasing their numbers from last week's Canada Road Safety Week. It was aimed at educating drivers through enforcement, but the number of charges laid indicates many people just aren't getting the message. And joining us live now is Sergeant Kerry Schmidt from the OPP. Kerry, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Now, first off, can you run through some of the numbers, because they are stunning in terms of the amount of charges that you laid this week?
Well, Canada Road Safety Week runs for 1 week in length all across the country, and police services across Canada are all focusing on those same high-risk driving behaviors that cause people's injuries or even deaths in road collisions. During that week, we charged over 10,000 speeding tickets. 175 of them were actually 50 kilometers or more over the speed limit, which is an automatic license suspension, vehicle impoundment. But really, the most telling thing is that 4 people lost their lives over the Victoria Day long weekend, and just in that 4-day period, those types of fatalities are so preventable. Not all of them happen on the highways. There was an off-road vehicle death as well as a drowning death, but the 2 road collisions that we investigated certainly are preventable. When we look at these things, we're trying to change drivers' behavior, and we see these common threads and trends that continue to be visible and apparent in these investigations that we look for, and whether it's a distracted, inattentive type drivers, aggressive drivers like those speeders that we're stopping, as well as impaired drivers and people not wearing their seatbelts. And seatbelts are actually on the increase so far this year. Already 15 people have died in collisions that we've investigated where not wearing a seatbelt was the primary cause of their death.
And that was going to be my next question. We see here that over 700 people were charged with not wearing their seatbelts. This is something very basic that we've been told for decades to wear your seatbelt. So you're seeing that now on the increase where people aren't doing that.
Well, yeah, and the fact is there may be more people out there not wearing their seatbelts and getting away with it, but if you don't put your seatbelt on when you're driving, when that moment in time comes and you have 200 milliseconds to have this collision event happen in front of you, if you don't have your seatbelt on, you're not going to be able to put it on and protect yourself. It is the cheapest and the best piece of insurance you can have in your vehicle. It'll potentially keep you alive in the event of a collision, which would result in very minor injuries, if any, if you were wearing a seatbelt. It's such a simple thing.
Okay, and lastly, anything you want to tell people out there who are going to be hitting the road for road trips, not just for long weekend, but throughout the entire summer months?
Do you know what? We're seeing the summer weather. Today's a beautiful day for driving. Even yesterday, we had drivers up and down on the highway loaded up with all sorts of trailers with equipment that was either falling off, being insecure, and we had one trailer, it was actually missing entire wheel assembly. Now, I don't know if it came off somewhere down the highway that we don't know about yet, or if he was driving with that improper, unsafe trailer already. We're going to see a lot of motorcyclists, pedestrians, bicyclists, and especially in the city, but also up in rural Ontario, cottage country. If you're going to be out enjoying the outdoors, keep your eyes open for those smaller vehicles, those little ones, and kids on bicycles, and everything else that goes along with summer weather. You've got to keep your eyes open. And if you have your phone in your hands and your eyes are down, you're not looking where you're going, that's where we're going to see the potential for an absolute tragedy. We all want to get home and have a great weekend and great summer, but there's just those simple precautions that will make us get there and get through the summer without these tragedies happening.
All right. Thank you very much, Sergeant Kerry Schmidt from the OPP. Thanks for joining us.